All right, so Good Day at White Rock starts out with this stock footage. This was not filmed for the actual episode, but we're going to include stock footage in our filming locations quest anyways. So no idea where this is. Maybe you guys know. I mean, this is going to be a tough one to find out. It looks like there might be a rail track right here. And it says something on the side of this building. Something company. Gas company. I don't know. See if you guys can figure out where this building was. All right, another unknown location, although I have a sneaking suspicion I do know. You see KITT breaking through this wall. You can tell it's just a fake plywood wall. In fact, you can see the edge of it here. You can see it was just hastily built. And then he comes through and slides and hits this table. My guess is this is the inside of one of the sound stages at Universal Studios. It makes perfect sense. They've done it before. They'll do it again. No confirmation that that's what this is, but that would be my guess. Actually, breaking news, just as I said that, I remembered I had a partial call sheet from Good Day at White Rock. And take a look at this. Right here, interior warehouse, scenes 1 through 5, so this was the very beginning, BL Mill. BL Mill, what is that? What's BL Mill? My guess is that was something on the studio lot. So this probably means something to someone who worked at the studio. That'd be just a guess. BL Mill. If you guys know, let me know. We'd love to figure this one out. All right. This next one we definitely know. Le Petit Chateau. This is the restaurant where Michael meets Devon, both at the beginning of this episode and at the end of this episode. It's actually fairly easy to find. It still has the Le Petit Chateau sign right there. It has the address number. So this one has been known for a long time. 4615 Lancashire Boulevard. Here it is today. It's no longer a restaurant. It's now a comedy club, the Comedy Chateau. So any of you guys that want to go to a filming location, looks like you can just go here, scan the QR code for tickets, and get yourself an invite to a famous Knight Rider filming location. This chateau was also used in season 4's The Scent of Roses. Whenever Devon goes to find Stevie singing in a restaurant, that's this restaurant. All right, so this driving scene, along with the majority of the chase scenes later on with KITT and the bikers, all took place on East Carlisle Road here. So if we look, I think this is Chatsworth, or that area. I'm sorry, I mean Westlake Village. Anyways, so if we look here, we can see this sign, I believe, is either that there's a bridge here or curved roads ahead. That's what this sign is. And we can see here that there's some guardrails. I think this might be this bridge right here. So then he drives past and then drives past the sign of White Rock 2 miles. And you see this big tree behind it. So if we turn around here, that White Rock sign, I believe, was right here, and there's that tree still standing after all these years. So this is where the majority of this scene happens, and some of the biker scenes later on, which I'll show you. All right, so this setting should look very familiar to a lot of you guys. This is Courthouse Square at Universal Studios Hollywood. This is where they filmed a lot of Back to the Future. Well, they would. This is 1982, so a couple years after this, they used this for Hill Valley for the town square. So we see Michael pulling through here, and then he turns and he stops right here at Sherry's White Rock General Store. We see Courthouse Square in so many Knight Rider episodes, a nice and decent little town, Fright Night, Sky Night, just to name a couple. So to look at it today, there's no street view because this is a private studio lot, but there is this panoramic shot that someone took on Google, so we can look at this. So there's the courthouse. So what you just saw was KITT driving down this road right here, and then he turns, and then right here is where the White Rock General Store was. So if we look at it then versus now, you can see it's majorly different. And I think that's probably because the studio had a massive backlot fire, and I believe, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a lot of these facades were destroyed and then rebuilt. So, but this is where the White Rock General Store was, right in that location. All right, so next up, we've got the scene where Big Lonnie has his van, all the kids around there, and then Davey gets into the fight. So we see this shot here of Kit approaching. If you look in the background, you can see the van. So this is at the corner of Market Street and Walnut Street in Santa Clarita, California. Now, this area has changed dramatically. This is the intersection right here. The van was parked right where this Jeep is in this street view, right there. So this has all been redeveloped. Doesn't look anything like it did. But take a look at this. As we move forward here, look in the background here. You see this house right here? So they're going through the intersection. They're on Walnut Street. This is Market Street. Look at that house back there, okay? Now bear with me 1 second. So if they're driving down here, that house was back here, way in the back. All right, so let's just take a detour and let's go all the way back here. And let's go over a tiny bit and take a look. Little Shepherd's Nursery School. That's the same building. Look at the windows, look at the railing here, and the posts underneath. There it is today, still standing. So, you know, this one was easy to find and hard to find because we found, you know, the signs for Walnut and Market Street are seen in the episode. So it wasn't hard to find an intersection like that in the Santa Clarita area. But then when we got here, we're like, oh, this doesn't look like what it should look like. But it is the correct location. And see, even if you go here, so there you can see Market Street, Walnut Street. But this house and the famous White Rock sign right there, again, all gone, and now it looks like it's a park. All right, so then Michael lets Davey off. He drives down, sees the fight, does a illegal U-turn here. You can see, again, 8th Street right there. So if we go back to the real location and we go down a block this way, which we'll do, let's find 8th Street right here. So there's Walnut and 8th Street. But again, look, this house, this little house is now this apartment complex. So that's changed, and there's something blurred there. I'm not sure what it is. And then the cop, and he drives off. Now, is this house still here? I don't think that house is still there either. Let's take a look. Now, I think that's all been torn down. So that's where this took place. Doesn't look anything like it did back in 1982, but there you go. All right, so going back to the bikers, they're on these S-curves on East Carlisle Road, same road that Kit was just on. Look at the giant hill in the background there. So there you can see it right there. And then, you know, you see these close-up shots. You see them coming around this bend. There's the White Rock sign. So again, we're all in this same area right here. Okay, so Michael goes to White Rock Mountain. In reality, this is Stony Point Park on Topanga Canyon Boulevard in Chatsworth, California. Now, again, there's not really street view for a lot of this, but this is Stony Point Park. So somewhere in this area, Kit parked, opened his sunroof, and did that whole gag there. All right, so then we move to the jail. And this is interesting because, and you'll see later on in this episode when Michael breaks out of the jail, I think this was a set on Studio Lot, but I actually think that this part of the set was in one of those facades in Courthouse Square. In fact, if you look out the window, you can see what I believe is some of the other buildings at Courthouse Square. Could be wrong, but I think that's what we're looking at here. And in fact, you'll see here in a little bit that this jailhouse was only a couple doors down from the White Rock General Store. So I think this was actually in one of those facades. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong. All right, here's what I was talking about. So Kit's in this impound yard, clearly, again, Courthouse Square, Universal. And then he comes around this corner. And if you look here, there's the Coleman sign. This is the White Rock General Store right on the corner there. He pulls forward, and then there's the sheriff's station right there. Michael gets in, he runs out of the sheriff's station, comes around here. There's the White Rock General Store. Backs up there, drives off. So clearly, all of that was in Courthouse Square, Universal. All right, so here's a scene that I'm not 100% sure where this is at, but I'm pretty sure, I would be willing to guess that this is also at Stony Point Park in Chatsworth, California. It just makes sense. So there's probably a scene where there was a big grove of trees, probably is still there today, something like this. Looks like there's some hills in the background, but any of you guys familiar with Stony Point Park? And if you've been there, maybe you should go there, take some pictures of this area. All right, so we're back to the chase again. We have the bikers chasing Kit. Again, East Carlisle Road, further down a little bit. This is the location that you see here, right? There's, in fact, yeah, see that split tree right there? I think that's this split tree right here. So this is all pretty much as it was during filming, which is really, really cool. And I think, let's see here. If we go back this way a little bit, yes. So you see this rock formation here. So if we go forward where they're doing the interior shots, see these rock formations? I think this is all, yeah, in fact, look, see that telephone pole right there? There's that telephone pole right here. So this is where that scene was filmed too. Again, all East Carlisle Road. They pretty much just closed off that road and just had a field day with it. By the way, wanted to thank someone very special for helping with some of these locations and someone that's going to be helping us in future locations. Many of you guys remember back, 15 years ago on the old Knight Rider Online message forums, we had a pretty good filming locations thread going on that forum. It was amazing. It was one of the best threads I've ever been a part of. Dozens of pages of filming locations found. And there was a couple people on there that, were really, really finding some bizarre, obscure locations. One of those was, he went by the username One Man. And I remember interacting with him a lot back then. I was so impressed with what he was able to find. He lived in California at the time, and he went out to these locations, took actual pictures. And, over time, that thread, died and people moved on. Well, whenever One Man, the user One Man, saw that I was doing filming locations, he reached out to me, and I hadn't talked to him in forever. So he's going to be providing us with additional filming locations just to make sure we get these as complete as possible. So please welcome One Man. That's how we're going to refer to him. We're not going to use his real name. He just wants to be called One Man. And he is definitely making a difference, at least on the filming locations series. So we definitely appreciate that. All right, let's move on. All right, so then we see this whole scene. The bikers are still chasing Kit. Kit's on East Carlisle Road. He makes a hard left, and it gets kind of blurry, but he goes hard left right here, and you see there's a sign here, a fence there, and then he goes across this bridge. So what you're looking at here, again, East Carlisle Road, and he's turning right here and going across this bridge to West Carlisle Road. Now, I don't think this is public because there's a gate across it, but other than that, this is all pretty much exactly as it was. And you see Kit going in here with the bikers, and later after the whole chase scene and the turbo boost and all that stuff, you see the remaining bikers following Kit out of that same location. All right, so really the majority of the rest of this episode, of the rest of this climax, I guess you could say, takes place in the Indian Dunes area out in Valencia, California. They filmed so many episodes out here. That lake that Kit turbo boosts over is out in this Indian Lakes area. And yeah, this whole scene, all this stuff took place out there. This jump. This is the same creek. I think this is the Santa Clarita River, if I'm not mistaken. Same location that the General Lee jumps in. You see it in the opening credits of the Dukes of Hazzard. I think the General jumps from the other side of the creek, but same location. Kit comes in for a hard landing there. Unfortunately, there's no, street view. That's all private land, I believe. So we don't have, we can't go in and pinpoint this, but that's where all of this stuff took place. Here's that bridge again. All right, so now we're all the way back to Walnut Street, right where big Lonnie's van was vandalized. This is back on Walnut Street. in that exact same location. Again, all those houses are gone. It's now an apartment complex. But all right, so then the final scene of the episode has Michael and Sherry, making out while Kit's driving. So if you look at the background, there's Le Petit Chateau again, right? Because in this scene, they're parked there and then they start driving off. So let's see if we can copy this today. And here's what it looks like today. Looks kind of different, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think any of this stuff, none of that stuff's there anymore. The only thing there is Le Petit Chateau. Other than that, it's all been changed. All right, guys, that's the end of Good Day at White Rock. So if you know of any of these missing locations, let us know for sure. We would love to kind of add them to the registry. And if we missed any that we didn't cover and you know where those are, let us know as well. Next up in our filming location series is Slam and Sammy's Stunt Show Spectacular. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.